Hi, we're back again, and our next guest is Guillermo Guerrero. And does a very interesting thing that you're going to enjoy. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
So glad to have you.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And I'm so interested in what you do.
Oh, thank you so much.
So start out by giving us a little idea of what you spend your time on.
Okay, so my name is Guillermo Guerrero. I go artistically by Guerrero or Guerrero Art. I am a comic book and graphic artist. I've been blessed in being a panelist at the big San Diego Comic Con as well in 2015. Because I am working on a project. It's a graphic novel for a good writer from a friend of mine. He lives in Bakersfield, and we met at a convention in Los Angeles. It's called WonderCon, which is also people who host the Comic Con. They host this event called WonderCon in Anaheim, Los Angeles, and so we met there, and we met through an artist event, and he liked my work and I like his, and he contacted me. It's like, hey, you want to do something? You want to do a comic book? I was like, sure, of course. And from there, I haven't stopped working. I just keep on, making comic books. I've been working in about probably around 4 different books already, but I'm still doing his work, and I am keep on doing it, and I love it.
Well, the subject matter what are his subject matters?
Well, he has different kind of writing, but as soon as he saw my art style, he has one story which is about vampires and the Yakuza mafia and different kind of mafias battling together, and the vampires is like in the middle. It's like a different kind of thing. So it is really it is really interesting. And so I as soon as I read it, I love it. And he's like, oh, I knew you would love it because I know your art style, and I would like to see my story, display on your art form. And so I was like, yeah, sure, we can do this.
Oh, and that is so wonderful when people can come together that really,
Oh yeah, he's a really nice person. Like he's.
And what was the subject of your comic book that you've been working on?
Well, I haven't worked on my own. I am actually writing my own comic book, which I will love to have it published. I don't know, probably around this year or maybe next year. But my artwork is concentrated into almost what is it called, culture. I am from Mexico City. I was born and raised in Mexico City, so I have a lot of background from the Aztecs, the Mayans, and so everything that I have done towards my work, I put implement my culture into it.
That's
so
fabulous.
When I go to conventions, I have a lot of people who see my art and it's like, oh, this is different, because they have the culture on it. And I remember a person from Anaheim, they asked me if I can draw a Mickey Mouse in the Aztec art form, with all the feathers and the Aztecs, and they're like, oh yeah, sure. And it was fun. It was amazing.
Oh, you can do that? Because Disney's usually very careful with their characters and who uses them. You're okay with
when you're in comic book conventions, everybody does that, and even the big companies like Marvel, DC, and Disney, they enforce that because for all the artists to do that, they actually publishing their work, so it's actually gathering more people towards their work.
Well,
so it's
that's
actually
true.
it helps.
Yeah, they don't want them to forget those little characters.
Oh, of course.
I told you before when we were sitting here that my only time that I was working with comic books is when I was 8 years old, and I had a little friend that I lived with, and we would get those comic books that had all the Disney characters, like Pluto and all these old paintings on the front covers, and it's all about their stories and what happens to them. I just loved them, and we would try to draw the characters. So it's quite a bit of difference from then and now in comic books. Right on, right?
It is a different style because styles have been evolving through the years. But now that you mention it, I remember back in the day when my father and my mother used to collect comics, and that is something that actually impacted me because that stayed with me. My older brother used to draw a lot, and that is actually how I started to draw. He was about 12 years old, and I was probably around 6, and so I love telling this story because you don't know how a father's talk or something will impact your child's life for
that's
forever.
that's for sure.
And so on my side, what happened is that my brother used to draw a lot of the comic books that characters that my father used to collect, or my mother. And I always wanted to mimic the same thing, but you know, a 5-year-old drawing is not gonna compare to a 12-year-old, and so I always stress and keep on crying and crying about it. And I remember one night my father came from work really tired, and he found me crying, and he's like, "What's wrong, son?" And I start crying. "Oh, I cannot draw like my brother." And he's like, "Well, I can." And he told me, "Don't tell me you can't. That is not a word.
Good.
That is not possible." And he grabbed my hands, like, yeah, look. He grabbed a piece of paper, grabbed my hand, and a pencil, and start guiding me. And he drew up perfectly Kermit the Frog. And I was like amazing. He's like, "See, you can do this." From that point on, I have never stopped drawing in my life. I just keep on drawing and drawing and just keep on doing it.
That's
Yes.
a great story.
Yes.
That's really wonderful. Yeah, I'll tell you, we learn a lot from our parents, and we don't realize it till we get to be adults.
Oh yes.
And when we're little, we fight it, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, where are you going to be? Do you show them anywhere, or just you go
Yes,
to conventions?
I go mostly local conventions in around Central Valley, but I also go to Los Angeles and just San Francisco. But the next event that I'm gonna be at is it's called the Weekend Blender, and it's gonna be held in Sierra Vista Mall, and it's gonna be on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of this month of August.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. So
you get to, I'm glad people can go and see
Yeah.
what you're doing. You should have brought one. Did you?
yeah, I have some pictures actually sent to you
Oh,
guys as well.
okay, we'll watch those.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's one right there.
Oh.
Yeah, that is my Katrina. I implement a lot of Day of the Dead because to me Day of the Dead is really
And they're all
important.
done in the computer, right?
It is digitalized, yes, but
graphic.
most of my work is also just hand drawn.
Hand
Yes,
done.
yes,
Oh,
pretty
that's
much.
fabulous.
Yeah, it's
Mixing the
Princess
two
Leia
is
right there,
smart.
Star Wars.
Look at that. Oh, what a cute character.
Star Wars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that is
Star Wars.
my character right there. That is one of my characters from the story that I told you about that I am actually working on.
Oh.
And yeah, and that is when I was on San Diego Comic Con as a panelist in 2015, where we launched his comic. That's my friend from Bakersfield. That's the writer.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So yes, we've been blessed. That is the comic book right there. It's called May Fumado, and it is actually available for you guys. There's still about 3 or 4 copies left, I think, on Heroes Comics here in Fresno, and it's also available on Comixology, www.comixology.com, if you wanna have a digital copy of it. So
Yeah. That's another one.
yes, that is the front page.
Yeah, that's really a style that I wouldn't expect in a comic book. So they really are growing, getting different and getting creative. Everybody has this creative thing inside of them, but a lot of people just never pull it out. So I'm always so great to meet people that have pulled that out of them and says, "Okay, here we go."
Thank you.
So did you have anything you wanted to say to them?
Well, sometimes it is hard for us, especially when we're kids. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," Well, try to find that special thing that that you want to do, even if it's something that you like to do in your free time or a hobby. You can make it as a career. And that is important, because as soon as you're working on what you love to do, you're not really working. You actually love it. What you're doing, and you're getting paid for it. On my part, I love comic books because it is a work where you can actually work at home. You don't have to move to places. To like, for example, I thought that to be an animator or a comic book artist, you have to move to Los Angeles, where the big studios. Or nowadays, you don't have to. You can actually work at home, and you send all your work digitally to the producers, and you're on your own boss. You have your own hours, and they pay you well by page or digitally. But it is amazing. Just follow your dreams. Never stop dreaming. Keep on going.
Hey,
moving forward.
take his word for it. because he knows what he's doing. Okay, I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Please
much.
come back again because we want people to get to know you better.
Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you so
so
much.
you come back again.
And if you guys wanna look for my job or look for my work, you can go at www.guerrero-art.com. We're actually opening a store as well, so you can buy my prints, you can buy books, you can buy a lot of things. So
Oh,
yeah.
say it one more time for them.
Sure, it's www.guerrero-art.com. And you'll find
Okay,
me right there.
super. They're gonna go there, and
Yeah.
Everything's great. Thank you for
so
coming
much.
in.
Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you.
We'll be right back.